Hi, I'm Tony Van Veen, CEO at Dismakers. I have a question for you. What was the song of summer this year? Oh, don't worry if you can't name it. Nobody seems to know what it was or can agree on it. Billboard says it was Ordinary by Alex Warren. Spotify says it was Love Me Not by Raven Lenae. TikTok's winner was Jess Glynn's Hold My Hand, not so much because it charted, but because it became the soundtrack of a popular meme. And I'm not embarrassed to admit it, I haven't heard any of these tracks. So what's going on here? I think it's this. The monoculture of big hits consumed by the masses is officially dead. Check out this stat. A decade ago, the top 10 songs out of some 50 million at the time accounted for 0.16% of all U.S. streams. Today, the top 10 songs account for less than a third of that, just 0.05% of total streams. That means the music mainstream, the big hits, the cultural consensus, the everyone's listening to this moment is fading fast. Heck, even the hits are smaller. I mean, have you heard Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department? You may have, but I haven't, and tons of other people haven't either. And that was last year's biggest selling album. Yes, the biggest songs are getting less of the pie. There's no longer one dominant radio station, one trending song, one artist on the late night show that everyone watches. And this is obviously a problem for the majors, but it could be your opportunity. Thanks to streaming, audiences are scattered, fragmented into 1,000 small niches. Taste is personal, and each week Spotify recommends songs to me that I will like. Doesn't matter if anyone else likes them, these songs become my hits. One of the songs I currently have in my heavy rotation is from Dutch punk band Ploegendienst. When I went to check out the video of theirs on YouTube, it only had 3,000 views. But it's been in my top 3 songs on rotation for the past few weeks. And the interesting thing is, as algorithms get better at knowing what we like, they stop trying to show us what everyone likes. My top hit will look very different from everyone else's. The big labels don't like this. They're trying to feed the mainstream. But the mainstream is no longer mainstream. It's fragmented into dozens of smaller streams. Which is why, one reason why these labels pressured Spotify into demonetizing songs with less than 1,000 streams, so that they'd get more royalties even as smaller acts proliferated. So yes, the big labels are worried. Meanwhile, you, my friend, are free. You're not bound by the same rules as the mainstream music industry. You don't need a hit. You don't need radio play. You don't need a big advance or a cosign from a superstar. You just need the right people to hear your music. And maybe your friends at Dismakers to press you a few CDs. Because in today's fragmented music world, depth matters more than reach. You've heard of 1,000 true fans, right? Well, forget them even. Just 200 passionate fans who buy your records, your merch, and come to your concerts will do more for your career than 250,000 passive playlist listeners ever could. So, while the majors scramble to rework their business models and complain that there's no song in the summer, you can quietly work on building a loyal following, a nice income stream, career even. And you can do this by just executing the basics well. Write great songs, deliver a great live experience, build relationships without having to go viral or chase the algorithm. And instead of selling your soul and your future earnings potential to a big label, you can retain control of your masters, your publishing, and your image. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still a grind. Making it, whatever that means nowadays, is hard. The odds of big money success are small, and making a living off your music requires a ton of talent, creativity, and perseverance, both on and off the mic. But you don't need to break through some mythical wall, because now, more than ever, people are listening to the music that speaks to them, not the song the record label pushed. Not the top track on the radio, but the artist they stumble on through a collab, a YouTube clip, a friend's post, or an opener at a live show. And that next favorite artist of theirs could be you. because when everyone's listening to something different, there's room for everyone. So don't give up, my friend. This is indeed a marathon. Keep hustling, keep growing, and keep the faith. If this message resonated with you, hit like and maybe share it with another artist who needs to hear it. I hope you found it helpful. I'll see you next time.